Hey, yo, Neil.
Hey, what's up?
I got you.
Got you.
Yeah.
R&B Grammy. Free my brother. It's free to his backwards.
Look.
You're on mute.
Welcome to another. Now you messed up the program. Just do this signal. Welcome to another edition of RSG. This is D. Wills. Please go check us out, Real Sports Guys, on realsportsguys.com. You can also get us on Real Sports Guys on all social media platforms. You can catch us on YouTube. Please give us comments, give us a ranking. We love the support we're getting on TikTok. A lot of people giving us live. We got some video content going on there. We reintroduced the audio content, so if you're on Spotify or anywhere else, you can find us there as well. And I think people have appreciated being able to catch us back on the audio side of it, so we're all on platforms there. You have a way when you go on Spotify to support us. We're a little underground, so if you can find a way, if you got that coffee change, we're the underground. We appreciate support, that love offering. We okay with love offerings. We spiritual like that. So anything you can do to help us get this movement going. I'm trying to get the young to the Mile Invitational. I'm trying to get this young man. I'm trying to expose him. Y'all can find out how talented he is, and y'all can help us get him to Maui. I might just run that Maui invitation. Get Darnell to Maui. That's what we're trying to do. Now, actually, we're going to be in Honolulu because they moved the invitational from Maui. It looks like it's going to be on Oahu. I'm glad that they're keeping it in Hawaii. I think that's the rightful thing, and be able to raise some support for Maui. I think University of Hawaii is in their athletic department is helping with getting that organized. So we'll tell you more as we find out what's going on as our annual trip to Maui to engage. And it's a lot of great teams that will be there. And so I'm excited. We're going to have, I think the Zags are there. We got UCLA. We got Kansas. We got Marquette. Um, it's a lineup. It's a who's who going to be in the house in that one. So we'll give you more about that. But today, we got some really good stuff to talk about today. But let me bring my guy in, Darnell Kirkland Jr. We always got to do that. Pops was texting me today, and it just reminded me to make sure I say Junior. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right, given the circumstances. Yeah, I have COVID, so yeah, I've been sick. So
I'm trying to tell you that vid is out there. I got hit when I came back
yeah,
from Paris this summer. I was like, wow, I got hit. It was funny
no,
because I was in a room with my
this was
daughter and
different.
she escaped without anything happening. I'm like, all
Yeah,
y'all youngins got out there and the old guy got COVID.
I'll say this is different than the last time I got COVID. Last time seemed like it went by a lot smoother. But this time,
Hmm.
yeah, feeling a little bit.
So you
I'll
can't
be all
even
right.
you can't even get with your players, your linemen and coach. You gotta watch all that. You gotta communicate through Zoom. They got you on the shelf, but it's still out there. We got to be safe. Get your mask on. Don't let these people fool you. Stay on top of it. But you at least here with me, so we'll keep you going. This will be your entertainment because you be in quarantine. So now I'm bringing you and providing you a little bit of entertainment while you in that quarantine space. So that's all right. So y'all support Darnell. Y'all give us that love offer, so we can get him out. Get him out once he back on the men. We can get him out and get him to Maui. All right, I'm gonna say this. We're not gonna do that one. We're gonna go over here. All right, it was rocking in Colorado this weekend. And for those of y'all who usually come on, we usually have my man Hammer with us, but Hammer's, we real sports guys. Things come up, we got to run errands, we got to do stuff, so we just keep it moving. So Hammer will join us at our next podcast, get back on it. But hey, it's rocking in Colorado, man. You had two pregame shows. I was like everybody and their mother there. We had The Rock there. You had Master P on with the It's Personal shirt. They had all the stars and everybody in, and everybody was waiting for it to get personal. Somebody didn't tell Colorado State that. Colorado State came in there like, forget this. we not put Colorado State come in. We always use boxing analogies. I use this. Colorado State came in like Sean Porter. We're gonna be in your face all night. We're gonna get physical. It might be an elbow, it might be a low blow. I might headbutt you. We just getting rough in here. And they battled and took it to overtime. It was a battle. And I was watching the game, because Colorado is the new for black folks. Colorado is like the new Georgetown right now. UNLV. Everybody jumping on the. Everybody in there, just something spiritual happening, and it was almost like. When black folks were trying to decide between Ali and Frazier, and Frazier was like, "We're gonna get Philly on this. Y'all can come and chill, just do what y'all want to, but y'all forget where I'm from." And Colorado State was like, "We gonna get that." So man, when you watch the game, and I had to stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning and then get on a plane to fly back to the Midwest, but I couldn't leave until the end of the game. Like, what was your impression of the event, the game? I love to get your insight.
Well, first of all, they got Kawhi Leonard to come out.
And they got Kawhi out there.
That's and that tells you all you need to know is if you get Kawhi out, it has to be a big deal because Kawhi don't leave the house,
You
or
don't leave the house.
at least we don't see it when he leaves the house.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
as far as the game goes, it was personal, and everybody talks about all the cheap shots and stuff. But hey, you said it was personal, so now it's personal. So when Travis Hunter out here dancing and stuff, all right, we gonna find you. And that was the tone of the game. And Colorado State played above their level, and it was an exciting game. And in a week where there wasn't a whole lot of marquee games on the list, so it was good to see. It was especially for the prime time game at night.
Mhm.
It was a very exciting moment.
Yeah, and Colorado State receivers showed up. Them guys was catching. They was running that football. It was a battle. Shador, the Sanders sons was like, we can't let this happen. Both of them showed up. It was personal. If ain't nobody else gonna show up, we gonna show up for Pops. And both sides of the balls, they showed up. You talked about the shot on Hunter on the sideline, Henry Blackburn, who hit them. Not you put that shot on that. Those are rivalry game shots. Like and people gotta understand this is a kid that's from Boulder, went to I think Fairview High School. And if you ever see his high school tape, this kid, he ain't afraid to hit nobody. That's the way he play. He gonna if you anywhere in his vicinity, he gonna knock you out. That's just the way. And he's from Boulder, 3-star. Probably was salty that I grew up in Ann Arbor. There's a lot of kids who grew up in Ann Arbor who ended up playing up at Michigan State or whatever because Michigan didn't want to look at them. All that is part of this. And so, like you said, when Cass come up here talking, he got family and friends. He gonna put that love offering on you. He gonna put that, as Rick Mahorn would say, he gonna put that love tap on you. And that was a hit. That was a I said it was a rivalry game hit.
Yep.
We gonna
And
blow to the whistle, to the faint of the whistle. Maybe I thought I heard the whistle or didn't see it. I'm gonna hit you, but he gonna do that.
you know what it reminded me of? The game reminded me of last year. Last year when Georgia played Missouri,
Yep.
and Jalen Carter and them was talking trash to the Missouri players. They was walking through their warm ups and stuff before the game, and then they took them out. They got him on the legal chop block. They went high low on him, and they had to get him out the game. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, he was like, "We're gonna take it to the streets. We're gonna take it to the streets." He's like, and he's like, "I'm from Boulder. If we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this Boulder style." He was just like, he like, and so they came up with the death threats. And this is why I say this about Dion, because when Dion said he loves the kids, he loves all these kids. And his coming out and saying, "Look, this is crazy that we're gonna be threatening this kid and his family," and Dion coming out, and standing up is part of it. It's football, reminding people. And sometimes these fans get carried away. Folks be on their, I'm going to threaten your family and all this stuff. Like, now? Hunter, these schools aren't that far away from each other. People will find each other if they need to go have a conversation. You know how that is. Cats go from Ann Arbor to East Lansing all the time, back and forth. People don't understand that these folks, when you that close, people end up in the same space all the time. He's from Boulder, so they'll have opportunity to talk to each other. But as far as folks out here trying to threaten, I was glad that Dion, you know, got on the mic and use his bully pulpit to make sure it's clear that that's not appropriate. And sometimes fans and sometimes these adults who ain't got nothing else to do, dressing up in these outfits and these uniforms, now they're gonna go out here and threaten somebody. And knowing if you walked up on this young man, I watched him play it. I saw him hit. I don't know if you're gonna walk up on him. I don't. He if you see his video for how he don't seem like the kind of kid who care. And so I'm glad that they did it, and it's that's what happened in a rival game. When you create that kind of thing, it's personal. You're gonna get hit like that. But I described them as you love it from back. They're like Sean Porter. They was up in your chest from the first go. And Colorado was kind of they tried to dance, get out the way. He all up in that chest, and they then needed to come up with an Earl Spence performance or a Crawford performance to beat Sean Porter. They had to figure it out late in the game. And Shador showed why he's who he is. That kid put together that drive. I'm like, now they're gonna have some problems next week against Oregon. Now, even though Oregon has a quarterback, there's a reason why he's at Oregon and not at Auburn. He can fold like wet noodles in big moments. So that's going to be an interesting game. But that's going to be a little different test for them as they get in there. What do you think about that next game as they start to get into Oregon?
It's gonna be tough without Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
He playing both sides of the ball, so it's hurting your offense and it's hurting your defense. So it's unfortunate we're not gonna be able to see that. But hey, like they always say, next man up. So
Yeah, and they got some depth on that Colorado team that that they got some kids who can show out. So it's going to be interesting. They got it. That defensive line is going to be ready because they're going to run the football.
yeah, and that's gonna be the problem.
Well,
That's gonna
yeah.
be the problem.
They're going to be much more disciplined around that commitment to running the football. But Bo Nix will give it to you. We've seen it in big games. He will
Yeah.
he will gift wrap, and so that's a part that we need to pay attention to. So we're gonna watch it. It feels like we talk about Prime every week, but it was a good one. We got some good games coming up this weekend that we'll be able to check out a little bit.
Oregon got a lot more talent than Colorado State.
Yeah, but they also been they've been flaky too. They haven't always lived up. Now my Deacon Garrett, who's a Ducks fan, probably gonna watch this, be mad at me, might drop me a note. But I know, but they win games, but they give some games away. Now they're not like now Utah's a different thing. You and I talked about that, but Dion might be able to get Oregon with the banana in the tailpipe because they can get he might he might talk them into mistakes. I don't. That's Oregon a little shaky like that. Now USC, that's gonna be different because that young man, he don't really care. He gonna battle you all the way to the end. It's just going to be a shootout. But Oregon, they've been known to sometimes show up.
I feel better about USC than Oregon.
You do?
Yep. Because the USC defense is so soft.
Yeah, you're right.
It's going to be a shootout. They're going to play into Colorado's hands. Even though USC should be a little bit better, they should be favored. But if the game's going to play more into Colorado's hands than Oregon will, in my opinion.
Well, we'll see. We'll keep that thing rolling. Great Green Bay coach Vince Lombardi said one time when he was confused with what was going on the field, "What the hell is going on out there?" And that's going to be this segment of the Cipher because we got some scenarios where I can see the coaches and some fans are saying, "What the hell is going on out there?" And we'll start with Chicago, Illinois. I wish we had Hammer tonight because we were going to call this the therapy session because Bears fans need therapy. I mean, when they opened the season, they thought people were talking about Justin Fields being an MVP candidate. They're talking about the Bears having all these draft picks and doing all different stuff. I mean, everybody was puffing their chest out. Now I had a couple problems because I had some insight into the GM, and I said about his press conference and some other things that I thought were, for me, red flags, and they might be showing up here soon. But it's obvious after game two, there's some problems with what's happening in Chicago. When you look at it, I watched Sam Acho had this really good video on Justin Fields on a simple. It was like cover three. They're gonna give you the out. Great. It was a great breakdown, and and you know, he's got his main targets open on quick outs, right? And he's not even throwing it. It's a simple read. You can see it. Boom. He's not doing it. So there's something there, right? That he's not. There's something that's
And it's
not clicking.
funny because at Ohio State they used to do that. He used to throw that 5, 7 times a game. Like
Yep.
literally, it was like it's like a hot in their system. Like
Yep.
if you're playing off of Olave, there's gonna boom speed up, quick
Yep.
5 yards speed up, and he'll throw it every time.
Yes.
But I don't know what's going on now.
But he's not throwing it now, right? And when you watch, I mean, what do you is it? You're a coach. Is it? And this is where I channel my Tomlin. Tomlin had this great interview in the Pivot where he says, I struggle with coaches who don't want to coach. And so their excuse is the player when the things you see in are things that coaches correct. Like he talks about that. And so how much of this is about people wanting to play him to do a system, not having a system, and not coaching? Like how much is it about coaching, and how much would you look at it and say, this is something he needs to correct?
I disagree this about the coach. I think he's Adrian Broner. I think he's a shot fighter. I think he's on. I think he's a guy that was in
You
there with
call him AB, man. Why you call him AB? You,
because that's exactly what happened after the Marcos Maidana fight. Adrian Broner never trusted his chin again, and he didn't want to let his hands go. You watch Adrian Broner versus John Molina, and if you watch him in the earlier fights, he's a completely different fighter than he. Watch Adrian Broner against Mikey Garcia. Watch him against Manny Pacquiao. He's not the same guy. And I think that's Justin Fields. Justin Fields, there's open routes, and he's not pulling the trigger because he doesn't trust his offensive line. And the offensive line's got a little bit better, but still, he's still gun shy, just like Adrian Broner.
but that's where I think is coaching, because if you're intent on, if you know
That's
that's the issue, if you know that's the issue, then I'm calling it to take that out of your issue. I'll cut the field off, give you 1, 2 reads, you got to get rid of it. I'm taking that out of your game for right now and building your confidence up. If I know that's the issue, then I'm taking that out and I'm giving you the run pass options. And I see they're playing cover three. I'm rolling. You throw the quick out, it's there, and we're gonna march down the field and we're gonna run the football. So I'm building towards that. If what you're saying is the issue, then I'm calling it differently to get you in the rhythm. I'm forcing you in the rhythm based on how I'm calling it. And that's an adjustment as coaches, right? How do you build that? You're the one who said I'm creating this new offense line. They look much different in preseason, so I don't know how things changed that fast for him. He seemed like he was in rhythm. So I don't know. I'm with you. I feel like he don't trust. I think he don't trust. There's, but to me, that's something that's happening between him and the OC. Like there's got to be something that's causing that trust other than distrust other than the offensive line. He might be sensing they don't believe in him, right? Like that could be part of it as well, right? I like the Adrian Broner stuff. I felt bad. I'm like, I don't even want to put that on him, and you probably are right. But I think part of it is, I mean, he was so dynamic towards the end of last year with a worse line, and he got better receivers, right? So and he looked like he looked
But
comfortable in
what
the
did they
preseason.
what did they do at the end of last season though?
I mean, they lost on the stretch, but he was balling.
I'm saying they ran him more though.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're giving them they're allowed to be more comfortable by doing something
yeah.
that
But you had a full off season. See, this is what coaching is. You mean to tell me you had a full spring of work, you had summer, all this stuff, and none of that changed?
no. What I'm saying is if you run him more, you're gonna get him. lathered up. You're going to get them in the,
Yeah,
more on the flow of the game. Like you said, give them quicker reads,
yep,
of that, just easy stuff to get them kind of warmed up,
yep.
and then work up to the longer throws down the field. I think
And,
that'll help.
and I think the fact you're pointing that out is why I say there's some coaching stuff here, because you should be able to see that. And exactly, I think exactly what you said. He's the kind of guy. I think he's the kind of guy that got to get lathered up, right? I think you're right. He's the kind of guy got to get lathered up into the game, and once you do that, he can do all the other stuff. And you got to know that about your quarterback, right? Um, and I think I mean, you just laid out an approach. As I was watching, I was like, that's the way you script those first couple plays. You script those 16 plays. They said, I mean, when they talked about how they did on the scripted plays, they did well, and then after that, everything went haywire. And so it's like, well, the whole idea of scripting plays is to identify possibilities that you can then use later on. And it seems to be, I think there's some user error. He got to do some things, but I still feel I ain't buying the regime yet. I ain't buying them. And and not only is the offense struggling, the defense struggling. So like nothing they doing. It'd be different if it'd be different if it was like the Jets, right? Or even Cleveland. Like Cleveland defense was playing last night, but their offense was just, you know, I mean, at a certain point you're gonna break down, right? I don't see like nothing they got going on in Chicago is working, like, and that's the part that I'm trying to figure out is this coaching here because I don't. Where's the bright spot in Chicago? Like they got rid of the young linebacker, went to Baltimore, showed out, because they said they want to do all this other stuff, and now they brought these free agents in, they brought their people in, and their defense looking crazy. So now we put a lot of focus on Justin in the offense, but their defense don't look good. So what are they trying to do in Chicago? I haven't figured out. So that's why I'm trying to figure out whether or not where's the coaching coming in on it, because I'm not seeing a highlight on any part of their phases of the game. Maybe the kicking game is working. When Hammer come in, he could tell me about the kicking game, but nothing in there is working. And so all the blame can't be on Justin when your defense ain't working, nothing working. And so we got to figure that one. The other one is the Bengals. Now they stumbling. A lot of it's about Burrow being hurt, right? So in even Chase is like sit him. You know, you mean you the GM of the Bengals, you the coach of the Bengals. What do we? I mean, and that division is the division folks are showing up, and they're 0-2 in the division, right? Right? They lost against two division teams coming out the gate. So where do you put them Bengals? Where do you put like what do you see? I mean, I got Jamar Chase in fantasy and he's struggling. Like the deep ball down the field, obviously he hurt because they're not throwing any deep balls. Um, what's happening in Bengal land? Do you shut them down?
I shut him down for now
Hmm.
because he's gonna mess around and get himself hurt. But you got to lean on the running game. I think that's the answer. But nothing's gonna be better than having Joe Burrow out there. It's like I forgot who was the coach of the Colts that said this, but he said we don't give our backup quarterback any reps. Peyton Manning takes all the reps because if Peyton Manning goes down, we're effed, and we don't practice effed. And I think that's what's gonna go. That's what's going on with the Bengals, man. If you don't have Joe Burrow, we're effed.
They put all their chips in the
So
middle of the table. I don't
you
blame them,
can,
right?
you can say what you want to make it sound good, but that's what it is.
Play. That's when you always say plan A, B, and C is Joe Burrow, and we ain't got nothing after that. He all the plans. I agree with that one. And the other team that's 0-2 is New England. Is Belichick in trouble, man? I see this
Belichick
goes,
might be in trouble.
huh? They said
Belichick might be
Kraft
in
is
trouble.
like everybody's under evaluation. I think their relationship been strained for a while. It's like one of them show marriages. It's good for show. He brought Tommy back as soon as he could bring Tommy back to be honored. He ain't waste no time, right? That's his son. And the reason why I say Belichick is in trouble because it goes back to last year's decisions. You and I know we've been on football, like nothing about that decision we thought was right. And I was like, is he having a breakdown? Like it didn't even feel Belichickian. It felt like that's the kind of decision the Chicago Bears would make or the old Lions would make. You know what I'm saying? They did make it with one of them, and so it's like you're gonna have a defensive guy in front like as a offensive coordinator, and it just ruined a young quarterback's development. And they still trying to make it. I still have confidence. You and I talked about this in O'Brien as an OC, but it just seemed like and it it just seemed like I don't know. Belichick got to get it right this year. I just don't know if they don't make the playoffs. It's I feel like you know he and Kraft gonna have that conversation. You don't think so?
I think it's time for him to bring Saban back and they go on their farewell tour. No, I'm just with you, but yeah, they both struggling there. But I don't like I said, I don't think Belichick can be in trouble. I think he's at a point where you know when it's his time to go, it's his time to go, and he's gonna go out on his own terms. But at the same time, yeah, the Patriots they don't look good right now, and that's something they're going to figure out. But yeah, I don't think
And Kraft been he don't pay for average. Kraft said he don't pay for average. He played for championships. You don't think Kraft is gonna pull that card? All right,
I don't think so.
I think he's in trouble. The Vikings, I haven't quite figured the Vikings out. They won like 11 games of 3 or less points last year, or close games last year. This year they seem to be losing some of those close games. When you look at the Vikings, I mean, in the last game they just got run on. I mean, was it played Philadelphia? Philadelphia said we can't do nothing else. We're just gonna run down your throat, and they just controlled the ball. Um, and you couldn't necessarily. Um, I mean, the offense was doing some things, but the Vikings, I thought like they could be sneaky. They were my sneaky pick, but they 0-2 right now. Your boy over there, maybe you get some insight
Oh,
on
see,
what's
I
happening
watch a
over
lot
there.
of them because I know I watch a lot of them because of KJ.
Yeah.
That's my dog. But at the end of the day, I see it coming. I mean, I root for him every game because my brother over there. But they soft in the middle. I mean,
Yeah.
you trust you put all your chips into they throw the ball all the time. They got excellent skill players. They got Justin Jefferson, of course. Jake picked up Jordan Addison. Of course, they got KJ in there. But O line is so so. Their D line is so so. And when the core of your team is, I say core, but when I say core, I'm just talking about the middle, the
Yeah.
front seven, and then the O line slash the running back, like the core, like the inside of the team.
Mhm.
When the core is shaky, you have a shaky foundation, and the house built on sand is not going to last. So if you can't stop the run, like they says in the Bible, there's nothing new under the sun. If you can't stop the run, you're gonna have a hard time. And they had a hard time last week.
And Madison, I thought would be better. Now he wasn't going to be cooked, but I don't know if it's they don't just commit to him enough to run, right? Or they don't know if he can do like when I've watched him have great games, and it's almost like, and I have him on my squad. It's like they don't commit to him, and he doesn't produce like you said. Like they don't have the balance, and I think he can catch out the backfield. It's like he's not a part of the game in a way. And I always think about offenses a lot. Like this is why you and I talked about boxing. Um, People say, "Well, why do you got to be balanced?" It's how you set it up, and it's like you setting up moves for the late rounds, for the fourth quarter. And sometimes if you want to run, sometimes you got to throw to run. You got to loosen them up. You talked about the middle. You got to get people running sideline to sideline. Sometimes you got to set things up, but you got to have a strategy for how you setting things up. I mean, that's what I love about watching McDaniel's call plays in Miami. It's like this guy gets it. Like he gonna get you. He gonna get you them body blows. he gonna throw that jab. He gonna make you think about something, and then that right hand gonna come right down the middle. And you could tell, like you watched him going against New England. and he saw that New England had those extra safeties in playing beat, and he was okay with that. And he got to it. He's like, got to it to understand we hitting him with this jab right now. Don't hit him with the overhand right. Let's set him up. Let's go to the body. Let's soften him up. And I think I told you this before under the previous coach. Minnesota, and maybe they're still got residual effects from that. I'm like, like you and I talked about this a couple years ago, probably when KJ first got there. I'm like, that's a Ferrari that they driving like a Model T. It's like they got enough skill on the, they don't have the kind of speed that they have in Miami, but they got skill and they got a great tight end, and they seem to drive that. They drive that thing like it's a Volvo. They drive it like it's an economy car when they got it, and it's like they ain't revving it up. And I just don't. I can never figure out. I mean, at first, it was they had a defensive coach that they got rid of that was like get us in great position when he had all these great tools. And now you're free of that. You get a person who's supposed to be getting you going, and they don't feel like they've turned on all their pieces, and they don't know how to use them. Minnesota is they drive you crazy, and I don't know. And I think part of because they haven't applied that is why they look soft in the middle versus they don't even commit to running. So you don't know if they soft or not, but they just don't make a commitment to doing it, and there's no continuity to it. So I think they should be much better, but in a division they got so many opportunities, like and they can't figure it out. So I know it's your boy. You also a Lions fan. We'll figure it out. So out of those teams, because they're all 0-2, and they were expected to be better, which one of those teams do you trust to turn it around?
You said the Vikings. You said the
Yeah,
Bears.
the
And who?
Vikings, New England, Bengals, and Chicago. People thought was going to be much better. At the beginning of the season because of everything they did.
Oh, the Vikings.
They brought the receiver over from Carolina. These are teams they thought were going to be better in their circumstances, and they're all 0-2.
No, the Vikings are going to. I don't know what you call turning around, but they're going to be a decent team. They're going to figure out how to finish games, but still, I just don't see them at the elite level. But they're definitely going to be much better than the Bears and New England too. So I got the Vikings for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this all out. I think the Vikings got the most opportunities to turn it around because I don't think anybody in the division is going to run away from them. And they're still in a position to make some pull some ground in that space. So I think the Vikings got all the pieces to do it. And they could right the ship. If I were to pick another one, it'd be New England because of the injury in New York. With Aaron, that I think it creates an opportunity. And Buffalo's got some issues. Buffalo's got a team, but they got some issues that might allow for them to pull some back. And Miami's going to pull away, but that could be a division that maybe, if things right out, they could get 3 teams in. But I think I got to believe Belichick's going to figure it out. He got an offensive coordinator. I think their defense is really good. They just haven't shown it yet. I think you'll see them running the football a little bit more. But yeah, I would probably start with the Vikings with a close second with New England. You might see the Bengals take a step back, let it ride this year, know that they can regroup, and then Chicago is a mess. So we'll keep checking on that, getting into it. Is there anything else that you want to bring up before we give out some flowers? Because we want to watch your health and wellness and your recovery.
Yeah,
So what else do
couple,
you want to bring up? Huh?
a couple things. First of all, it doesn't look like the Cardinals are tanking. It doesn't. I don't think they got the memo that they're tanking. They're looking pretty good for what everybody thought. We're talking about the 0-2 teams that are supposed to be better, but I can't not bring up the 2-0 team that was supposed to be 0-17.
Well, the thing about I'm laughing at you because people got to understand that you have Arizona is another place that kind of tugs at your heart, and so you look it over there. Yeah, and they got Joshua Dobbs in there who I love, and if y'all understand about Dobbs, played at Tennessee. I had a chance to hear him speak at this retreat that was hosted for black athletes at UT Austin, and incredible story. He majored in engineering And when he was going through his visits, he's one of the top quarterbacks coming out of high school. His parents, who are incredible people, teams had to demonstrate how they were going to allow him to major in engineering because folks will pull a bait and switch on you. You're supposed to be majoring in engineering. Next, you major in history, and it was confirmed by athletic director of Arizona State who he was considering, and just like hearing his remarks and some of the things he was doing, incredible kid. So I've always been a champion. He's played for the Steelers. I wish we would have kept him. I always felt like it, but to see him playing well, and they did not get the memo. You're right. I'm watching them. I'm like, I know the ownership up there is like, what are y'all doing? But them kids are balling out, and it's one of those things where guys know they're playing for something. What people got to understand is these guys know the film is for everybody else too. So guys are playing, and these coaches aren't going to get the memo. And these coaches they don't know how long they job. They're not here for all that. So you're right. They didn't get the memo. No, them boys are balling in a way that you didn't think they were balling because they're like, we're not in no sweepstakes. We got to get up here every week. So they 2-0. Did they lose right at the end on that last one?
I don't know.
I thought they
I
won
didn't
and
watch
one
it.
because
They
they were
lost the
trying to
last game.
win, and then I know the ownership was
Oh,
like, it was one of those games where they gave all the effort, and I think they might have lost at the end. Um, and that was probably the right way to do it because I was thinking
they
just like you,
lost.
huh?
Wait, let me see. Let me see.
I think they're 1-1
All right, yeah.
because I was and they were supposed to be they're up, and I know the ownership was
No,
like, you got
what am I talking about? The Cardinals are 0-2,
they
just
0
like they're
2. Yeah,
supposed
they
to be.
play two
They're
close
0-2
games.
like they're supposed to be.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's why I was like, why are you bringing
Yeah,
them up? But they could have been 2-0 because they're both close games, and they were winning.
yeah,
So they playing they for the ownership they doing the right thing. They don't look like they tanking, but they tanking because they giving effort. But they get nipped right at they like the reverse of Vikings last year. Like they might go 0-11 on 3 and less games, 3 points or less, rather than 11 in whatever the Vikings were last year on those close games. But they played two
yeah,
close games. Yeah,
yeah.
they should be
And
2-0.
my other topic was the did you know that Canelo Alvarez and Jamel Charlo fight next week?
I mean, I've been trying to fight, but yeah, I didn't. There's no promotion on it.
I've heard no buzz, no publicity. I ain't see no commercial. I ain't hear nothing about. Obviously, I knew the fight was coming up, but I'm surprised about how little buzz is going on for this fight. This fight has no juice, but
None,
I'm gonna be
and it's a
watching.
great fight. It should have as much buzz as what we just saw. I mean, these are two big time fighters, and no buzz. I've been trying to. I was thinking about because they're doing the Showtime, like they're doing that, like whatever. I was going to try and watch that, but I don't. Yeah, there's no buzz, man. Do we need to? I know we need to put a boxing show together to talk about it, baby. We the only ones can give it buzz, but there's no buzz about that. I didn't like. I forgot
Yeah,
about it until you said it again. I didn't know. Is it this weekend?
next weekend. No, the 20, the 30, the 30th.
The 30th.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't even see
yeah,
them
next
on.
weekend.
I haven't seen them on ESPN or any other place promoting the fight. I don't know if I've been. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. All right, man. Let's give out some flowers.
All right, yeah, I'll go. I guess I'll go. If I did mine on his, actually, I know I didn't do mine on him. I did mine on a different training last week, but like I hinted at earlier, want to give my flowers out to Mike Stafford. Mike Stafford was a Ohio legend, right? He's a Cincinnati trainer. He's best known for training Adrian Broner, but he also trained Robert Easter and Rasheed Warren coming up through the amateurs. But he did pass away. I want to give my flowers out to him. Rest in peace, Mike Stafford.
Mm, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, I want to give some flowers out to that young man, Shador Sanders. I stay up 2 o'clock in the morning, and if you can. I think as a parent, you can only hope that your child would fight for you like he fought for his dad. Because if they had lost, as his dad put it, that press conference would have been hard to deal with. And that young man put together a final drive down the field in a way that shuts things down. I mean, this kid rose at the time when it wasn't just about uh, uh, doing it for his team. I mean, he was doing it for his family. He was doing it for his grandmother because they had pressed on my mother raising me versus your mother raising you. That young man refused. His one of his best guys fell. One of his top receivers gone, and he figured out how to get it done. And I swear, I I was convinced this was going to be an App State moment. I was like, you had Master P there with them shirts. You had everybody on the sideline to rock, and this was a game that they could not lose, and he would not let them lose. I had to give that young man some credit because that's pressure, and I'm gonna let you know, man. I'm gonna give you your flowers, and the fact that you are able to, even with all the NIL money, you just keep it up. You keep it about the business. You are focused on whatever it is because you can't do what you've been doing if you're not focused on that stuff. So I'll give you a young man his flowers because he did it for his daddy because he had to. All right, that's it. We gonna get on to the next one. We'll see you next time. Darnell, hope you're feeling better, my man. This is D Wills for RSG. One mic. We'll catch you on the other side.
Ready for the day the Lord call on me. Them all decisions, man, they all on me.